Thursday, February 20th, 2014. I'm Rim.
Rim fucked up.
And this is Geeknights. Tonight, The Dentist.
Let's do this.
So anyway.
Seriously, Rim fucked up. Like, my microphone wasn't plugged in, and I said I'm Scott, and then, yeah.
Yeah, so by the power of editing, we just had him say it again, and now I got this other clip of him not saying I'm Scott.
Because you fucked up.
Thing is, he doesn't listen to the show. I could remove all this and no one would know. I could take the I'm Scott from a previous episode, just throw it in there, no one would know.
What a weird show that would be.
How would that be weird?
I don't know.
How would anyone know? I'd remove this part too.
Yeah, you and your Muskehounds. Anyway.
I just stalling it up.
I thought we had done a show on dentist or teeth or something a long time ago.
It feels like something we would have done in one of those Thursdays.
I was 100% sure we had done this episode when we were in Beacon at some point. But I Googled, and I guess there isn't one, so...
If there is one and we didn't find it, it's Scott's fault.
I'm going to really regret it. I imagined a slight possibility that perhaps long ago there was perhaps a suggestion to do this show, and I may have said, that's a dumb idea, let's not do that.
That happens.
And if there's audio evidence of that, that is bad.
I mean, to turnabout is fair play. Anytime I suppose, hey, we should do a show, we haven't done one, you'll be like, yeah, if we did do one, this is Rim's fault. He's the one who surged.
That's right.
Whatever, but it's not dentist time yet. Last night we went and saw No Man's Land.
There was a lot of landmines there and barbed wires.
Well, landmines of the heart.
Yeah.
A no man's land of the heart.
Of the mind.
It was interesting because, we went to see Waiting for Godot. Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, basically some of the best actors ever. And it was great, but everyone reads Waiting for Godot in high school.
I didn't.
Really? Had you ever read it?
I saw the movie.
Oh, okay. So at least you were familiar. Everyone sees Waiting for Godot having already been familiar with it when they see it in the theater. Kind of like with Macbeth or Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are Dead or any of those things.
Educated people.
Yeah. But anyway, No Man's Land, I very pointedly did not read it, did not do any research, and knew literally nothing about it.
I knew it was about... I thought I read that it was about like some World War I veterans, but maybe that may be true. But
they were old enough to be World War I veterans,
sure,
I guess.
That may be true, but that has little to do with the plot or anything.
The plot is that there's a no man's land between all men where they never truly come together, and it doesn't matter if your friends are friends.
Every man is in their trench, and they may fire bullets across the way, but that's about it.
When you're old, it doesn't matter if you remember your friends or not, because everyone around you might as well be the same.
And then the people that you did know are mostly dead.
It was a really depressing play.
It was funny in the beginning.
It was funny at the end at a couple of points.
Somewhat.
That little bit of the breakfast where McKellen's character just going on and on and on, and the guy's like, bit early for all this, isn't it? I didn't expect to laugh out loud as much as I did and then feel such existential angst by the end of it.
Don't become an old man.
I'm working on that. Or at least don't become an alcoholic old man. I feel like the two are combined.
I want to know how much of that alcohol was alcohol. And if not, what was it?
Oftentimes, because I had a lot of friends who are in theater, I heard tell that in the last performance of plays that are like that, it'll be all real alcohol.
Oh, my God. If that's true, we got to buy tickets again.
It was some...
Because, dude, that's enough alcohol to send you to the hospital.
That was Hemingway-level drinking.
That was... Bring me the bottle.
There's a whole bit in the beginning where Ian McKellen's just being kind of annoying, and Patrick Stewart keeps walking over and pouring himself more vodka.
Why don't we make a stage production of, like, Sun Also Rises or whatever?
The Sun Also Rises stage production? I'm assuming that's been done. I'm assuming there's some shit musical about it.
And just all real wine all the time.
You have a new cast.
Real bulls too.
New cast every time.
That's right. Real bulls, real wine. Everything's real.
That was actually an assignment I had to do in high school when we read
Real bulls and real wine?
when we read
Your assignment, drink 7 bottles of wine
when we did
over the course of an hour.
When we did our Hemingway segment,
Run away from some bulls and do it again.
We had to keep track of how much alcohol people drank in different scenes and determine what effect that would have on them. And a lot
Death.
of them ended in death.
Death, everyone. All death, no matter what human body they have. Even Andre the Giant would have been killed by that amount of alcohol.
Yep. Bottles and bottles and bottles. But, so yeah, I digress. In case you haven't been paying attention, the Ukraine is weak.
No, I knew that in the 90s.
Yeah. Well, apparently that guy on the subway didn't know.
Well.
But, if you kids, a lot of you don't really pay attention to world news as far as I can tell. Go read about what's going on in Ukraine. It's not really at the top of the news, but basically the country is on the verge of like Les Miserables style collapse, barricades in the streets, parliament fleeing Kiev.
Right, here's baby's first explanation. Ready? The people who live in the eastern parts of the Ukraine voted for basically Soviet government. Effectively.
A Putin puppet, if you will.
The people in West Ukraine are totally chill and awesome, and they voted for good people, or at least relatively good people.
The West. Let's work with the EU instead of Putin.
Why are people who live more west anyway?
Yeah, Scott, because people in Pennsylvania are so much smarter than people here.
People in eastern Pennsylvania are at least better than western Pennsylvania. Not saying much, though. It's like shit and diarrhea. Anyway, so yeah, the people in Western Ukraine are totally chill, but, you know, they're basically living under this shitty government the Eastern people voted in.
Well, it's a little more complicated because it also goes heavily along urban-rural delineations, much like Turkey,
right? But if you
or the United States.
If you look at a map of, like, you know, the states of the Ukraine and who they voted for, it's like 2 colors, and it's not like the U.S. where it's sort of like not a straight line. This is like a straight line down the middle. It's like, oh, all the ones in the West, right? So they're super pissed that their government is all evil and corrupt and horrible, so they revolted.
Well, it revolted. There is civil
a real
unrest.
Revolution.
There is Les Miserables
like
style civil
riots
unrest.
And, you know, violence. Revolted.
Military's getting involved. Other countries getting involved. The UN will probably be involved. There might be NATO actions if this keeps escalating.
Right, like going into the government building, taking it over, finding government people, doing violence upon them.
If nothing else, look at the amazing, surprising images coming out of Ukraine. There's a photo that I saw.
People like to set shit on fire there. Well, fire is really popular.
Well, in a rioting Les Mis situation, that's your go-to. Barricade, fire.
Fire?
Fire, barricade.
Why don't they go for the ice? Be like, hey, it's Ukraine. We got more ice here. Let's do that.
Ukraine is not northern Finland.
Listen, it ain't warm. Well, maybe it is now. But it's not like
well,
fucking
they've got
Florida.
All this fire.
It's not fucking Florida, all right?
But I saw one picture. There's basically this barricade in the street, and there's a man standing on top of it, and it looks like the entire city is burning behind him. Mm-hmm. And then there's another picture that someone posted on Facebook of basically people who live just in the suburbs, like the equivalent of Queens, seeing the smoke rising out of the city center going, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, so it's like you see these photos and you realize, like, man, if I could just go, you get like, if you have any interest in photography at all, you get this sort of idea, like, I should go to a crazy place where shit's going down and take photos.
Yeah, I was thinking that actually.
That is the worst idea.
Well,
do not have that idea. It's a bad idea.
An unnamed person. Well, you know what? It might be your job. You could be a journalist because the thing is,
that does not pay. That is a job that makes you no money. You cannot live with that job.
At least these pictures might generate world interest. Of course, didn't really help Syria so much. So
if you get lucky, like one of your pictures might make you famous and then get you jobs doing other things in photography that might make you money.
Remember that dumb anime Flag about that picture of the flag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't ever think that.
So, on a side anecdote, we have a friend who had a friend a long time ago, no names here, and I got into an argument with that friend at an unnamed convention, and the argument that this person put to me was that, and he was being serious, it would be an actual tragedy if war ceased to occur, because from where would we derive new war stories?
We'd make them up.
I had a long debate that night.
Man, it would be a real problem
if we stopped having the Middle Ages, because no one's going to write more Middle Ages fiction.
If we actually developed cyberpunk technology, because then there wouldn't be any more cyberpunk stories.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, we can make stories about things that don't exist. Man, it would really suck if there were no more ancient Greeks, and then we couldn't make up any more ancient Greeks. Wait a minute.
But on that urban-rural divide, which is also a big part of this, I definitely... Did you see that thing I tweeted of the United States GDP 50-50?
No.
Okay, this is one of the most amazing maps you'll ever see because this really explains a lot of what's happening in Turkey, in Ukraine. I'm trying to pull the map up again so I can show it to Scott. So basically, it's the United States. I'm just a map of the United States. And it has two colors. One color represents 50% of the GDP of the United States.
Oh, geography. So it's like tiny dots around New York and some other cities.
And one other color represents the other 50%.
The entire rest of the country.
Yes. It's basically tiny little brown regions around the places you'd expect, and the entire rest of the country is yellow.
Right. In other words, we're all, us people who live in cities and actually do real work, we're basically paying for you to exist. In other words,
there it is. Here's the map.
We should be in charge.
Look at that map.
Yeah.
It's almost the same as what the map would be if you looked at Democrat versus Republican voters.
Right. In other words, anyone who lives in the orange should have a vote, and anyone who lives in the blue does not.
Oh, so you're saying only rich people should vote?
No,
only
I'm saying
money
only
should vote?
people. It's not people who have money. It's people who produce wealth.
Oh, so
It's the
job creators.
It's the GDP, not the how much money do you have in your bank account. It's how much money did you bring into the country, right? The same way that your parents are the boss of the house because they bring in money. And when you say, we should buy a Nintendo, they say, you don't get to make any decisions because you're just some kid who didn't make any money. And then when you get a job, you can say, I'm going to buy a Nintendo. And they can't say no because you earn that money.
Well, until you're 18, they can still say no.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Tough shit.
Of course,
that needs to change
kids,
too.
I know a lot of you are in high school, so I'm going to let you in on a secret. Once you're 18, you can sign your fucking self out of school.
Mm-hmm.
So remember that. Use it. I signed myself out of school to the rolled eyes and sigh of the secretary in the administration office like once a week once I turned 18. I was just like, Brandon DeCoster has a doctor's appointment, and I signed it. And they're like, really? You have a doctor's appointment? I was like, I'm an adult.
What are you going to do about it?
I'm an adult, and I signed this.
I went to the doctor. I made my own doctor's appointment. I called the doctor. Doesn't matter if I'm lying.
I was lying.
What are you gonna do about it?
One time I just stopped giving a reason. I was like, Brandon Goss needs to leave school. Got something. Sign by myself. Ha! It was great.
Anyway. In other news, we lost at Ice Disc today.
Yeah.
In some
disc with a K, Captain.
It's disc with a C.
No.
Disc with a K is only for like floppy disk or hard disk. Like a discus that an Olympian throws is a C. And a compact disc is a C. And pretty much any other kind of disc is also a C, except for a floppy disk.
There was some debate on Twitter about this. You were called out by someone.
The same way that a trackball, only the Atari trackball does not have the letter C, is a TRAK ball, but every other trackball is TRACK.
Man, what happened to trackballs?
You can still get one if you want.
But like I used to see them around a lot in the 90s, and now I almost never see them.
Well, I think it's the people sort of, there's still some crazy nuts out there who think a trackball is like a good idea.
There's a couple of uses. So our mutual friend Ken Scott played Quake and Mega TF with a trackball instead of a mouse.
Great.
He was as good as me, if not better.
Whatevs. Yeah, you don't see anyone doing that.
It was this giant-ass trackball. You should have seen it.
No one in the pro circuit today is doing that.
I want to see
You can't tell me a laser mouse is less accurate than that.
Laser trackball.
It's not going to help you.
I want to see a dude with like an 8-ball at one of these tournaments. That would be the best.
You won't because they'll lose. It basically died the way the Dvorak keyboard and the split ergonomic keyboard should die because they're all just as bullshit, ergonomically speaking.
Yeah.
But I guess the trackball actually died. Whatever.
So anyway, news.
That was the news. Yeah, we lost to the ice puck, but you know what? And we lost bullshit refs frigging, scored the final goal.
Of course, that's how it goes.
But you know what? That's okay. Because you Canadians, you used up all your luck today. And tomorrow,
that's it.
You got none left. It's going to be GG. So enjoy it for the next, 14 hours or whatever.
Yeah, wait until some Canadian team wins the Stanley Cup next year.
And whatever. And you know what? If we lose tomorrow, then at least I had the balls to trash talk in advance. Unlike Rim. Rim never does that.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I do.
And you know what?
It's rare, though.
You're probably listening to this after that game is completed anyway. If we win that game, I was right. Suck it. You should have let us win today, and you could have maybe won tomorrow.
Maybe.
Yeah, but the refs, they already gave you you already cashed in your favor.
I would love to see what would happen. I know it can't happen. I know it's impossible to happen. If NHL teams played by Olympic rules. Just once, 1 year. Can you imagine
the
that?
announcers during the hockey games have actually been discussing a lot how like the NHL ice is too small, and the Olympic ice is too big, that in Finland and I think Norway or something, they actually have like this in-between ice size that is like the best ice size. It makes the game like, it gives like enough room to like, really show off your skills, without being cramped in.
Thing is,
but it's also tight enough that you can actually get more action instead of like the puck goes around.
I like wide hockey. I like 4-on-4 hockey even more.
Yeah, I like 4-on-4. But yeah, they're talking about how like the best ice size is this in-between size. Anyway.
What if you go bigger and have like 20-on-20?
Yeah, but Olympic hockey is pretty much the best sport there is. So you don't have too many opportunities to watch it. And tomorrow is the day. Basically, there's 2 games tomorrow, Sweden, Finland, and U.S., Canada. Whoever wins those 2 games goes to the gold medal game, which is Sunday. The gold medal game, if you win, you get a gold medal. You lose, silver medal.
So, not too bad.
The 2 teams that lose tomorrow still get to play. They go to the bronze medal game. If you win the bronze medal game, you get a bronze medal. If you lose, you get shit.
Who's the comedian? I think it was Jerry Seinfeld who said that you want the gold, obviously. That's what you're shooting for. But if you're not going to get the gold, you're better off with the bronze.
Well, at least...
And here's his argument. If you win the gold, you're the champion of the world. Fuck everybody. If you win the silver, you're the guy who didn't win the gold. But if you win the bronze, hey, I got a medal. That was his argument, at least. That was in the same album, I believe.
If I was in charge of the Olympics, I would eliminate all bronze and silver medals, and I'd eliminate the gold medal too. There'd be a platinum medal for the winner, and everyone else gets nothing.
Everyone else gets shot.
Second place is the first loser. Right?
In Science Olympiad, they did something interesting.
End of story.
I think they still do it because there'd be like 40.
You're either the best or you're nobody.
So Science Olympiads in high schools would have 40 or 50 high schools in like their regional tournaments for whatever. They'd usually have 8 places that got medals because you got a medal if the thing was worth points for qualifying for state or nationals. So medal meant you counted for points. And then there was a meta score for your high school or your country or whatever.
If they want to give out like multiple awards, the way you need to do it is the way the bicycle races do it, right? It's like you can win the bicycle race and win, but like if you get up the mountain first, you get the red and white dots. And it's like only the people who are the best at something get something, but you don't get anything if you weren't the number 1 in some category. Number 2 people, like I was the second guy up the mountain. You don't get shit. I finished the race second. You don't get shit, right? We only give out jerseys and medals to people who are first.
That's also why I think some people enjoy like marathons and those kind of long things because then there's almost this place of I finished it. I made it to the end.
Did you finish it first?
Who fucking cares? I made it to the end.
So you lost. So shut up. You're a loser.
You want to play some Nidhogg? Olympic Nidhogg?
At least Nidhogg only gives a win to the guy in first.
Yeah.
No problems there.
But anyway, things of the day. Got a thing of the day?
I do. The Commodore 64 has a famous audio chip in it, the SID, right? Machine Supremacy has used it famously, as among many other people. It has a particular sound that is pretty unique amongst digital audio mechanisms, and it has been said that that sound cannot be perfectly reproduced in software, and even the way it works, every SID chip, even though they're all the same chip, is unique in its own slightly varied way. But you know what? The reality is you can basically make that sound with software and your computer, right? It'll be 99% the same, and I dare anyone to tell the difference.
It's a 99% to P.
But where can you get software that does that? You know, you can get a Commodore 64 emulator and write software for it, but that's a pain in the ass. This website, I think this is like some HTML5 website. I don't think they make this in JavaScript or something, but it's pretty crazy. But yeah, it has all the control. It's like a little keyboard, like a musical keyboard, not a, computer keyboard. You could actually plug in a musical keyboard to a Commodore 64. And all the controls for the SID chip, and you can play music on it.
Not too shabby.
Just go to its WebSID. Just WebSID. There you go. It's pretty good.
So there's an old song that I'm a fan of. We've had things of the day about this song a long time ago. Since
that song?
Furry Robin Hood?
That's an old song of your favorite.
Since way back at an Otakon we went to, where the anime music video contest had a music video made by some fan of anime that was so much better than anything that was submitted.
It didn't win, but it got the honorable mention from the judges. Which showed the judges knew what was up, and the voters and the congoers didn't know shit.
It was the best entry. It didn't win the congoers. The judges were like, fuck it, this thing wins our thing because that.
That's right.
And the song is 2525. Famous song, great song. I went the other day searching around to see if there's been any covers or remixes.
Probably a zillion.
There's almost fucking nothing.
Really?
There is almost no one who has covered or remixed this song to any significant degree.
That has made it digitally available?
In any capacity.
All right, well, why don't we cover it?
Maybe we should. So, I listened to the few I could find around the internet. Many of them were bad.
69.
But you going to make that one? So of all of them, I found one that was kind of special, and the band is kind of special, and thus my thing of the day. Thank you, Slovenia, for Libach.
Slovenia. They just lost at hockey.
They did. Or former Yugoslavian avant-garde music group associated with industrial, martial, and neoclassical music. Just listen to this song. That's all you need to know.
You should link to the original because people probably don't know.
I will link to the original and to
the music video.
Yeah, I'll do the music video. We'll go all in one.
Okay.
So yeah, meta moment. The book club book is Wool.
I should still take a copy home.
Today's
a good day because my bag's pretty empty.
I haven't started reading it yet because
me either. Because I thought
I'm reading more culture books still.
I thought you read them all.
No, I read most of them. I got a few to go. I tried to slow down because there's no more. That's it. We're going to be coming up relatively soon.
Really soon.
Yeah,
Anime
Boston. We will be doing on Friday Fundamental Anime at 2 p.m. Judge anime by its cover at 3 p.m. They're back-to-back in different rooms, so we're going to cut off Fundamental Anime a little early.
And run.
The Secret Guide to Running Panels on Saturday at noon, and Not All Anime Are What They Seem on Saturday at 2:30.
Ooh.
The rest of that time, we'll be hanging out in sports bars and playing German board games.
Shortly afterwards is PAX East. If you don't have a ticket, you ain't going.
We will be presenting No, I was about to say the wrong panel name. Why no one will game with you?
Because you suck. And because you didn't get a ticket to PAX East. And you can't play games if you're not there. End of panel. Let's play games. Oh, anyone who's in this room, you don't need to hear this panel because people will play games with you because you're here. Everyone who's not at this convention, no one will play games with you.
I will say this. We, for a long time, had a philosophy of having titles of panels that were perhaps inflammatory, controversial. I think this started with our Gekiga : putting the man back in manga. So we're bringing that tradition back. What's this panel about? You'll find out.
Your mom. I'm going to insult you to make you go away so I don't have to play.
We're actually going to go through the room
room
person by person, interview them, and then tell them why we won't play games with them.
That's right. Because you don't know the rules, because you're slow, because you don't speak English, because I don't like you, because you're ugly, because you're not ugly.
Ugly, smelly, ugly, ugly, smelly, smelly, ugly. No, it's going to be a good panel. It's actually a complex topic. Whatever. You'll see it. It'll be awesome. We're going to be at Zenkai-Con doing a bunch of panels. I forget what. I got to look.
Why am I going to that?
I think we're doing anime openers from around the world. I think we're doing all anime are the same.
It's convention season if you haven't noticed.
Yeah.
Kineticon.
Submit your fucking panels. We're
PAX
literally
Prime,
scheduling. PAX Prime.
Magfest.
Yep.
One slight news. We're not going to this. But
That's not public. We
What?
can't talk about that.
what about what?
I'm not sure what you're about to talk about.
The New York Comic Con.
Okay, we can talk about that.
Is going to make another convention that's also the New York Comic Con.
Yeah, but it's basically the Philly Wizard World variant.
Right, so basically, because the New York Comic Con has no comics at it anymore, and it's all movies and bullshit, but they're still going to call it Comic Con. They're making a separate Comic Con on a different day, like in the summer, that's going to actually be just comics, which means that one is actually also going to be called New York Comic Con Special Edition or some shit. And it's going to basically end up being a Philly Wizard World because it's comics only.
No, it might be Philly Wizard World with a song of Mocha.
Wizard World is everywhere. It's not just in Philly. But yeah, it's going to be a crappy, bunch of tables, really sad guys selling back issues.
When we say Philly Wizard World...
Plus an artist alley.
You know what? I'll link to it. I'll link to the show we did on Philly Wizard World.
Right. It's just like every other comic show. A few sad comic creators.
Now, a lot of people said, it'll probably have a lot of that indie Mocha stuff. But you know what?
Virgil sitting in the corner.
You know what?
Not giving any autographs.
We go to Mocha still, even though it's, the Society of Illustrators and everything now. I've been to SPX. And what I saw at SPX was that a lot of the people who used to go to Mocha and stopped hated Mocha, always hated it, and only go to SPX. And the main reason is that New York fucking sucks to go to a convention to exhibit at unless you are wealthy and can have money to burn, or you live here. So unless the indie comic people live here, it sucks for them to go to Comic Con.
Because they're poor.
Also because it sucks to go to conventions in New York City. What? You can go to some venue that's not really a good fit in Manhattan where no one can afford a hotel. Or you can go to the Javits where there's fucking nothing there and no way to get there. No subway, barely any buses, no cabs unless you're going to the airport, and no hotels.
Why build corrupt convention center near airport? Why?
Yeah, seriously, New York.
Everyone else used their corruption to build shit. Why don't we use our corruption to build something we need?
If we built something like the BCEC in Boston or the BCC in Baltimore in like Flushing, there would be a PAX there, I bet. And PAX would have been there instead of Boston.
Imagine you fly to JFK, you take the air train, boom, you're at the convention center. This hotel's there, and amazing New York food. And after the convention's done, you can take the subway.
Yeah, you non-New Yorkers
You can take the
note.
subway for $2.50 to go to Manhattan and enjoy the rest of your vacation.
Non-New Yorkers take note. Flushing, you might think, that's like way on the end of the 7 line, like way out in Queens. Flushing is a better Chinatown than Chinatown.
It's a $2 and change subway ride that takes less than a half hour.
Some of the best Chinese and Korean food you'll ever have in your life is in Flushing.
Also Chinese people.
Yeah.
All right. So, dentists. Everybody goes to the dentist. If you don't, what the fuck do your teeth look like? Good God.
Well, what did Chase say recently? He was like, I just went to the dentist, and he said that you don't have to floss all your teeth.
Just the ones you want to keep.
Yep. Yeah, I'm actually overdue. I'm like a year overdue going to the dentist because my insurance changed like 5 times, and I had to cancel my last dentist appointment that I had scheduled because of sudden travel, and it's just been fucking impossible to reschedule.
I finally
so I'm way overdue, and you know what? every adult I think has those dreams of, oh my God, a tooth fell out.
What?
Yeah, that's a common thing. There's a Wikipedia article
Do you
about
play
it.
hockey?
No, but I'm like worried about I got to go to the dentist. I'm thinking about it a lot, but I'm still trying to find a dentist and schedule.
Okay. You should just go to the dentist I went to because my coworkers all recommended it.
I think my new insurance will cover it, so
and
I
I
think
went
will.
there, and it's basically the bestest dentist ever. It's all super modern with like the highest technologies, and they'll email you a confirmation, and it's like, yeah, this is for real. It's
Well,
not
that's
one of those.
That's kind of a meta point that because I realized this because you said that about your dentist, Emily said that about her doctor, and then independently when I got my Google Glass thing, I went to an optician that was like this. Most doctors' offices are run by old people who don't know shit about technology.
Okay, what I think it really is that any any sort of office like that, mostly medical offices, but really almost anything, right? Any small business, when the business opens, will have the latest and greatest technology of when it opens, but then it will not upgrade unless it is absolutely necessary. So if you go like an old restaurant, it'll have like a cash register, but if you go to a new restaurant, it'll be all like whoosh digital. Systems putting in orders and everything, right? But they'll never upgrade it because there's no reason to upgrade it. They have a system that works. As long as that system continues to work, they will never change it. So the dentist I went to is a really freaking new dentist. It's super fancy. It's probably going to remain at its current level of fanciness for as long as it exists, and it probably won't upgrade ever unless it has to. So if you go to a dentist who's like been around for 30 years, they have really good dentist experience, probably really good at dentisting. But they're probably using, the dentist chairs are probably like 10 years old, and they probably not going to email you anything ever.
Well, I've noticed, I'm not even just that kind of stuff. Like they send you a calendar invite, like basic shit like that. I'm talking like a lot of people I know have been to opticians that still in the year 2014 will manually with that big crazy looking thing that you put in front of your face, rotate a bunch of lenses and dials around and manually figure out your prescription instead of having the laser computer just do it. They won't actually do any sort of analysis.
Because that's an
on
expensive
your eye.
piece of equipment, and they already have a piece of equipment that works and gets the job done.
Gets the job done, kinda. Let me
Right,
tell
but
you.
how much money are they going to spend to upgrade to that other thing?
Yeah,
if
let
you're
me tell
starting
ya.
off as a new optician, you have your loan that you've taken out to start your business or whatever.
So let me tell you, because
But if you're an old business, it's like you don't have that.
The more modern opticians with the more modern stuff also charge about half what the old men charge.
Oh shit, son.
Yeah. I'm doing a little bit of investigative journalism here. So the moral is our healthcare system is so fucked up that most people don't get to pick, because if you could pick freely what doctor and dentist and optician everyone you went to, I think a lot of these old style places would go out of business, and there'd actually be pressure to modernize because there'd be actual competition. The problem is there's no competition because most people, their HMO or whatever is like, you can go to these 5 doctors and 4 of them aren't taking patients.
I think the real problem is not just, it's like I can pick from quite a few, right? It's like I can't go to anyone I want in the whole universe, but there's a lot of choices. Even for dentists, I can actually go to anywhere I want.
There's no way to compare them, though.
How do you compare them? You go make an appointment. Well, that was your appointment.
Yep.
Why would you ever go make an appointment somewhere else? And then I have to make another appointment. Why wouldn't I go to the place I already went that already has records on it?
All right, so there's 20 doctors. So over the course of 20 years, I get a physical at each one to see which one's better.
And meanwhile, the first one you tried, that was 20 years ago. Who knows if they're even still around?
Yeah.
It's like I need to be able to, how do you shop around and figure out which one's the one to go to? The reviews, there's all sorts of legalities around doctor reviews that they don't have on restaurant reviews, right?
Yep.
So it's weird.
It's all weird and messed up, and American healthcare is just fucked.
Right.
But I digress.
But yeah, dentisting. So I hope you brush your teeth. I hope you floss your teeth.
Yeah, guys, brush your teeth at least twice.
Right. But
ever.
It's like a lot of people, they're scared to go to the dentist for some reason. And
I think it's simple. The people who are scared to go to the dentist are the same 40-year-old men who don't go to get their colonoscopy. They don't want to find out that something's wrong, and they don't go to the doctor or dentist or anything until they're forced to by crippling pain or months of blood.
Well, I think what it is that if you go to like a doctor, right? Some people are scared of the doctor too, but it's like in terms of things the doctor will do to you when you go to him, it's like they might poke you with a needle.
Yep.
Right?
Turn your head and cough.
If you go to a dentist,
Pull your
right?
shirt up.
Right. And you know what? That's rather unlikely and not often. Most of the most doctor visits, and really nothing happens. That's anything that could be painful, right? It's just like they talk to you and they, stethoscope and whatever.
Yeah.
If you go to a dentist, it's actually somewhat likely that they are going to do something to you that will not hurt, right? It's like, I got all drilled today, and it was probably the least painful whatever. I didn't feel shit.
You got the shot.
Yeah, I didn't even feel the shot. I mean,
but did they do the tap first, or the it's not actually a shot? It's just like the numbing gel that comes out of the syringe?
So usually the procedure nowadays is they put goop on a Q-tip, and then they put the shot where the goop was. So the goop is like basically like topical anesthetic, and then they put the shot there, so you don't feel the shot. That's making you even more numb. But whatever. It's like when I was in Australia, they just gave me the shot straight in the chin, and it didn't even that hurt a little bit. But whatever.
Yeah, well, you had a sizable gash in your chin at the time nearby, so maybe your nerves were
I've had it in my lip before, too. It's like, I think I'm pretty much...
This isn't the doctor show, because if it's the doctor show, we're going to talk about shots. Yeah, I've gotten some fucking shots, like when I got to Lyme disease.
Yeah, so... But the point is, people are scared of the dentist because it's actually rather likely that a dentist will use implements on you that are frightening, such as drills. It's like, I'm going to drill your body that with like a high-speed spinning thing that is usually used on like wood and, hard. It's like they're going to take the hardware stored to your mouth, and it's like the concept of that can be alarming.
Coupled with, I think, the secondary effects. I mean, even if it doesn't hurt, if they're drilling your tooth, you smell burning tooth.
I didn't smell any burning tooth.
If they do a proper drill, I've smelled burning tooth before.
All right.
I guess it depends on what they're drilling out.
Really, what it's all about, you want high-speed drills, right? Because the high-speed drills...
Well, once again, you want to go to a modern dentist.
Will not, like, vibrate your head, right? Just be like,
Kind of like how there's all those different kinds of fillings and everything.
Yeah, you really, these days, you should go with the composite filling.
It depends. I've still read the composite only lasts 10 to 15 years before they might need to be replaced, but good old amalgam will last 25 plus.
Amalgam will poison you with mercury.
No, actually, there's no evidence that it does.
it's such a small amount of mercury, it won't poison you.
Actually, every study I've ever found says that it doesn't.
I just said it is such a small amount of mercury.
Yeah, the most dangerous thing you can do to amalgam
you.
is get it drilled out and replaced with something else. Because drilling it out will release a bunch of mercury.
Yeah.
But I've got a bunch of amalgam fillings in the back of my mouth.
I have one amalgam filling. The rest are the composite kind. They've lasted way longer than 10, 15 years.
Yep. Well, we're talking about dentists, so I'm not going to get into orthodontia. But
maybe that's another episode we could do.
We could. I had braces twice.
Me too.
So total of 8.5 years of braces between the two times.
I don't know how many years total.
And that actually caused some issues in my teeth that affect me to this day. So I've had a lot more fillings.
At least you had it, and you're not one of those people with a fucked up mouth.
So, actually, you want to know something really sad?
Like Mike Rahulik, his mouth is fucked up.
To this day, one of the most direct and trivial way to determine in the West whether or not a person was born into the middle of the middle class or up is whether or not they have straight teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Not perfect teeth, but straight teeth. Because orthodontia is not really accessible to people in the lower end of middle class and down.
No, that shit is expensive, yo.
And the odds are that almost everyone will need orthodontia.
Mm-hmm.
So as a result, someone who has mostly straight teeth was probably born into a middle class family. It's one of those things that might not be true in the far future, but in this current day is definitely true.
So let's talk about dental procedures, right? So first, obviously, there's the cleaning, right? I've had dentists clean my teeth in at least 3 different ways, right? Way number 1 is like the old-fashioned way, where first they go with the metal picks and they go scratchy, scratchy, scratchy to remove all the tartar, and then they have the rubber thing that polishes like. Right? That's way number 1.
And then occasionally the fluoride afterwards thing.
Oh, that's usually when you're younger they do that. Way number 2, they do the scratchy a bit, right? But they use basically a sandblaster, except it's sort of a saltwater kind of thing. Right. And that works. And then the place I went to now, right, they did a little bit of metal picking or whatever, but actually the thing they used, it wasn't a sandblasting saltwater. It was a sonic vibrating just water, but it was all like so sonic that all the tartar like shatters, right? Because it's like a very tiny screaming opera person. And that was the third method. I'm not sure which method I like the most.
Yeah, I find the cleanings to be less pleasant than the actual procedures.
You'd rather have a drilling than a cleaning?
Because the drilling is what the actual active fucking around in my mouth doesn't take that long, and it's a lot of just waiting for the amalgam to seat, waiting for this, waiting for that. It's easier, I guess. But at the same time, I'm not bothered by that sort of thing. Like, I remember my mom was always freaked out by, not the pain, because remember, in the old days, dentistry was a lot more painful.
It was.
A
We
lot
are
harder.
lucky in our day to have, it's like, even the local anesthetic has changed between different kinds.
Yep.
It's like the kind you get now is way better than
I mean, the old ones used to burn before they stopped, before they numbed. It'd be like, ow, 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 and then it would go away.
Yep. Now
But-
it's like at worst you feel the pressure of the injection.
And I remember this sound distinctly, as if you got significant work, the shot they used to give you was like up into the roof of your mouth, and it would make this like sickly crunching noise, and you'd feel it in there, but you wouldn't feel pain. You just feel like it going in, and that messed a lot of people up, I think.
Yeah.
So that might be part of it, that you can't see what they're doing. Like, if you're getting stitches, you can at least watch him doing it, and it kind of removes that sort of existential mystery horror. But in your mouth, there's a guy with a drill, and now you can't see the drill, and you smell burning, and you see him doing stuff, and you feel it in there.
There seem to be a lot of people who are really pussies, because a lot of the dentists I know, including the one I'm going to now, it's like for extra money, they'll give you the gas. And it seems like a lot of people are just so sissy that they go for it.
Depends. I got the gas. I got a light gas.
I've never gotten the gas
I got the
ever.
non-knockout gas.
I've never had any gas whatsoever.
When I had to get a pretty substantial drilling.
There
and
is no reason to risk any gas because the gas itself is risky.
It's not. Well, it depends. General anesthesia is risky. Just nitrous oxide, not super risky.
It's still somewhat risky.
Nah. I got it because I had a drilling that was pretty substantial, and he was worried that he was going to hit nerve. And he didn't want to risk all that pain, so he was like, "Look."
Well, the real reason is like they don't actually care if you feel pain. The dentist doesn't feel it,
might
right?
care.
The reason they care is because if you feel a pain, your body will go right. You'll move and like pull away and move your head.
Maybe
and
they
might
don't
end up
want
like,
another human being to feel pain,
and they might like drill into your cheek. And I'm pretty sure if you said I want to feel the pain, they'd be like, I'm okay if you want to feel the pain, but I'm not okay with you jerking your head and then me drilling into your face.
I had 2 cavities drilled out once when I was a teenager with no anesthesia.
Whoa, and the dentist didn't give a shit?
No, because he was like, probably not going to hit a nerve. He was like, tell me if it hurts, because they were trying to avoid giving anesthesia for whatever reason if they could. I remember that very distinctly.
I guess if it's like just a little bit and it's only in
But
like
I'll tell
the
you,
enamel part of the tooth.
it was a lot of not hurting, but then he hit something once, and there was this it felt like a line just went through my tooth into my brain. Like, ah!
That's how it is.
I went under once for a dental procedure, completely.
What the hell did they do to you?
Wisdom teeth.
Oh.
I had to get,
I have wisdom teeth.
all of them?
Yep.
You're a crazy aberration.
They took out because when I was doing orthodontia, which you're not supposed to talk about, the teeth directly behind my
Oh, you already
teeth.
got some teeth taken out. So
That was with local anesthesia, though. Not
yeah, because the front teeth are much easier to get out. Also, kid teeth are much easier to get out.
those weren't kid teeth; they were permanent teeth.
Yeah, but you were a kid.
Yeah, but they removed those teeth, and then the braces pulled all the teeth forward, and then the wisdom teeth are just like, hey, room.
Yes, I was 17, and they were like, yeah, you got to get your wisdom teeth out. It's time. And basically, I was like, how much will it hurt? And they were like,
A fuck
lot.
ton.
And I was like,
Tons.
can you put me under?
Yeah, but
it?
you know what else hurts? Not having your wisdom teeth out.
Yup.
That also hurts. It's going to hurt.
My stepdad had an extra tooth that grew kind
Beyond a wisdom tooth?
of... yeah.
Like a double wise tooth?
And it was past all his normal teeth and kind of growing out of the top of his mouth straight down.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that kind of tooth.
Yeah, that kind of tooth.
Yeah.
But so I got general anesthesia to get all 4 wisdom teeth removed at once.
Oh, because if they do local, it's usually one
Yep.
half.
So they
and
were
then
like, "Look,
come back, we'll do the other
They
side."
were like, "Look, if we put you all the way under, we can do everything now. You won't feel a thing. You'll wake up at home." And I was like, "Sign me up, doc." And I remember so distinctly, they put the mask over my face, and they were like, "Inhale deeply and count backwards from 10." And I inhaled deeply, and I said 10, and I remember thinking, I wonder how long I can hold. And I literally woke up at home, and it was all over. I didn't even get through that sentence.
I've heard, right, that if you do the general thing, that what they do is because like you're not conscious, you can't keep your mouth open, right?
Yeah.
Intentionally, is they basically put a jack inside your mouth to jack your jaw open.
I can believe that.
Right. And I've also heard that basically They'll jack it way the fuck open, and then you'll be all sore when you wake up.
I was real sore that when I woke up.
And part of the soreness is not just the tooth pulling, obviously, but also that they jacked your mouth all the way fucking open.
And they wrench you around a lot in there.
Right.
I've seen videos of like what it looks like when they're taking wisdom teeth out. Guy just fucking like holding onto a tooth with pliers.
Because you're asleep. He doesn't give a shit, right? He doesn't have to go easy or anything.
I don't know if I'd want to try the Twilight anesthesia.
What is that about?
Basically, you're conscious and will respond, but you won't remember anything.
Yeah, no.
I worry that while you're under, you feel all that pain, you just don't remember it.
Yeah, no. Thanks.
My grandma got it, and I saw some video when she got some eye surgery. She's 100% conscious, and the doctor keeps talking to her. He's like, don't close that eye, blink that eye, do this, do that. And she's responding and talking to him. And meanwhile, he's fucking just cutting her eye open with a scalpel.
Maybe that's like that crazy drug they use in Colombia.
The zombie one?
Yeah.
I forget what that was called.
Me too. I saw a Vice documentary about it.
I think it's because Crocodile took over all the news about crazy drugs.
Maybe.
That's pretty much the final crazy drug. Like, nothing will be crazier than that.
But yeah, I guess the only real dental procedure I had besides teeth pulling is teeth filling, which is not too bad. I guess teeth sealing, but that doesn't even, drill most of the time.
Funnily enough, after we decided to do this show, I had a tooth-related incident at work. A coworker was like, guys, my daughter just broke one of her teeth.
Like in half?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're like, what? And
so
he's
go
like,
to the dentist.
He's like, she ran into a door.
So go to the dentist.
And so he pulls out a picture, and yeah, her tooth is like broken off, like halfway down.
Whoa. All right.
And because I had something like that happen once, but basically what it was, I was flossing, and I had a tooth that had a filling from braces. Like braces fucked up this one tooth.
And the filling just came out?
So the braces fucked up the front of this tooth, so I had an amalgam filling like on the whole front of the tooth from a long time ago. Apparently, a cavity grew behind it, but didn't get into the nerve and didn't get around it. So unless I'd gotten an x-ray, which I just hadn't gotten for a few years, I didn't need one, there's no way to know. So one day I'm flossing, and the whole front of my tooth just goes ping and bounces off of the mirror. And I'm like, oh my God. Because, when you break a tooth, all you're thinking is, I hope they can fix it. How can I get to a dentist now?
That is the one thing, right? It's like, it's like, I go to the dentist for some drilling. I'm like, whatever. Even if they said you have to have a root canal, sorry. I'd be like, oh, well,
yep.
Right? And I just do it. The one thing that I am actually afraid to go to the dentist for is a dental implant.
Yep.
That's like you're a hockey player and you lose a tooth. What do? This is what they do.
General anesthesia, and I wake up with a new robot tooth.
Right.
I don't care.
They take a screw, a literal metal screw, and they screw it into your jaw in the spot where the tooth was.
That's cool.
And then on the top of the screw is like a little mount, and they take a fake tooth and they mount it right on that screw.
I think that's awesome.
I guess conceptually it's awesome, but if I think about someone screwing a metal screw into my jaw,
general anesthesia.
I don't really want general anesthesia either, because that is in itself also dangerous. But yeah, I really don't want to have that. But I guess the good part is if you have an implanted tooth like that and something ever happens to it, they can just pop it off the screw and pop a new one on.
I think the cool thing is that...
The bad part is what if the screw just fucking shatters your jaw?
That can happen.
You can. So don't get a tooth implant.
So I'm at least confident
Unless you have to.
Our generation is going to be one of the first ones where in our old age, dental technology has actually progressed a lot in the last 20 years.
All these rumors about stem cells, your tooth just grows back. I'm like all about that. I cannot wait.
Yep.
I'm like, please just pop my filling out, squirt some stem cells in there. My tooth grows back and I'll be like, oh yes, real teeth.
Perfect shrank teeth.
Oh, so good.
Like a tiny doll.
Oh, that'd be the greatest.
Can you grow me a vampire tooth? Can I just get like one dog tooth like right there just hanging out?
And if like a tooth is chipped, it's like, oh, fixed it.
Yep.
With real tooth that actually grew from you, your DNA, your tooth, not some fucking cement or some...
Of course, at the same time, cybernetics and crazy material science could make a totally synthetic jaw or tooth or whatever. I think that's all coming.
It'll just like take a matter printer, I bite onto it, and it goes...
Because the reality is, as far as I can tell...
my mouth perfectly.
Like, if you don't take care of your teeth, you're fucked. But if you do take care of your teeth, there's still a not zero chance you're fucked anyway. I mean, old people, just shit happens. Your teeth are not going to be great when you're 80.
Yeah, how many old people do you see with like amazing, perfect teeth?
My grandpa actually, like his teeth are like really good for how old he is.
Yeah, but it's like even if you brush a fuck ton as you're supposed to and floss and everything and whatever, it's not. There's no guarantees with the teeth department.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, genetics. Like if your mouth is kind of dry or you sleep with your mouth open, yeah, your gums are gonna get worse as time goes on. Just because, no way around that. There's a lot of things.
Yeah. Also, just avoid the obvious bad things for teeth,
like sandpaper,
chewing
eating glass.
tobacco.
Yeah.
Whatevs.
Don't just like.
And
write
don't
your
be a
name on your
pussy
teeth.
and just go to the dentist.
Yeah. Don't wear a grill.
How long have we gone? Should we take?
I think we're
else?
done. I don't know. I don't have any. I mean, I've shared every tooth related. I have one more tooth anecdote.
Okay.
So when I was in middle school, got to Science Olympiad States. So we got to go to Lansing.
Someone had a tooth problem?
The bus broke down. School bus.
The bus's tooth broke?
Due to liability concerns, even though we broke down less than a mile away from the hotel we were staying at.
You couldn't walk there.
We had to stay on the bus until a bus came from our home to pick us up and drive us the rest of the way. So we sat on this fucking bus for like 4 hours. Then the bus got towed to a parking lot, and then we went into this other hotel that was like a block away from our real hotel, and I had to fucking sit there for another 3 or 4 hours.
I would just run. I would just run off the bus.
I thought about it. I was in middle school. So we're hanging around just bored out of our goddamn minds, playing Mafia, and someone won. So she jumped up and down. The medal that she was wearing flipped up into the air.
So you had already won the Science Olympiad.
Yes, we already won. This all happened on the way to the hotel after the competition.
Okay.
Jumps up in the air. The medal goes up into the air.
Hits her in the face.
Levers around, hits her in the face, and just shatters one of her front teeth.
Okay.
Completely into, nerve exposed, crippling pain. We had to wait till that fucking bus came. So before they would let her parents take her to the dentist.
Just call 911. That's a tooth emergency.
Yeah.
It's not a fucking I'm going to go to the dentist now. That is a tooth emergency.
That's just me being mad about everything in America related to laws.
America.
Yeah, we're awesome.
If that was my tooth, I would have fucking run away to a payphone and called 911.
Oh, yeah. If it had been my tooth, my parents would have been like, yes,
and if anyone tried to stop me, I would have kicked them right in the junk. Whether they had junk or not, whatever is in the groin area.
Most people have junk, just might be a different shape.
And you know what? If that didn't work, I would have punched them in the teeth until I broke one of their teeth, such that they would then join me and fight with me.
Join me together. I think
like, how do you like it when your teeth is fucking broken?
I think we're done here. This has been Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music, Kat Lee for web design, and Brando K for the logos.
Be sure to visit our website at frontrowcrew.com for show notes, discussion, news, and more.
Remember, Geeknights is not one, but 4 different shows. Sci-Tech Mondays, Gaming Tuesdays, Anime Comic Wednesdays, and Indiscriminate Thursdays.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.